folks, and welcome to my top 200 games of all time. We're at the 120s, or how I say the bemoaning the fact that they're not in the 100s. That's where we are right now. All right, so number 120, a game. It's the first time it's not in my top 100. Kless 1303. Oh well. It only got played once this year for some reason, but it is such a great game because you're placing people across the board and always moving forward, not moving backwards down the track, taking actions, getting resources, building, getting special abilities, building more homes, and of course trying to get victory points. And you're trying to get more meeples so you can put them out too. Lots and lots of strategy. I don't know how close this is to the regular Kless game. I've never played Kless, the regular game, but I feel it's pretty much spot on. Probably a few more updated rules. The artwork is beautiful on this, and it's lovely, and it usually gets played all the time. And this year, it kind of got lost in the shelf. I reshuffled my where you put games on your game shelf really matters. Some of the bottom games over here kind of got forgotten, and you know they were usually top 100 games that I always pull down. Now I was looking at my shelf from far away, so I can look at everything top to bottom, but it just was in the corner, and I just kept missing it and just never thought about it. But it is a phenomenal game. Love playing it. That's why it's number one. At number 119 is Salon. Salon is another game. It bounces back and forth on my top 100. But I love T games, and any T game is awesome for me. This one, you're moving across the land. You're playing these cards that wherever you orient the card, you get the top action, everyone gets the bottom action. Or anyone, including you, can take the middle action instead. And so as you're playing this card, you're trying to get what's best for you and not help your other opponents too much. And of course, if you give them a bottom action they can't use, they can always use the middle action, which is like a move or grab some coin because money's really tight in the game. And of course, you're trying to plant tea leaf farms, trying to harvest that tea, sell it on the trains, get victory points, yada, yada, yada. Such a beautiful looking game. You're trying to get area control in a lot of these places too. You're putting tea farms. Again, another one of those games, there's many paths to victory, and I love games like that. And you slap a tea theme on it, come on, man, come on. You know I'm going to love it. Number 118 has been in my collection, I think, since the very beginning when I started doing these, and it is Black Fleet. It moves up a little bit here, and I kind of feel bad. Black Fleet has always been on the outside looking in over the past few years. Just fell from my top 100. One of my best friends who played games with me, he moved away, and he and I were the ones that just loved this game so much. When he moved away, I didn't play it as much. He came in, of course, for Labor Day, and because he had to shave off 2 days from his trip, unfortunately, we had to cut out some games, and this is another one of the games that hit the cutting floor and never got back. So I only got to play it once, even though I really loved the game. It's out of print. It's super expensive now. Not worth the price, I think, but I wish they'd reprint it because it's like Machikoro in a way. It's pick up and deliver, but as you're playing these cards, you're also trying to get money. You can get money several different ways by controlling the Navy ships that everyone controls, or using your pirate ship to take out someone else's merchant ship. And as you're gathering all this money, you're of course using that to unlock special abilities. And once you've unlocked the last card, you've won the game. And everyone's special abilities are different. And so it's so much fun. I remember I had Machikoro in my collection a few years back and got rid of it because, like, you know what? This is Machikoro, but better. So Black Fleet's always had a home in my game on my game shelf here, and it always will, as far as I'm concerned. Even though I don't get to play it as much as I want to, still a very fun game. At number 117 is a new game in my collection. It is Way of the Panda. I love Kung Fu Panda, and I've always wanted to get that real-time fighting game. It seems fun. But when I found this, I was like, oh, wow, this is like a better version of Kung Fu Panda. This is the version that they should have made. As you are moving around the board, powering up your pandas, taking actions across this player board, different actions of moving, of leveling up, of building buildings to get victory points or to get more action points or whatnot. It's just a very simple, straightforward game. I didn't look at this forever because CMON, usually a lot of CMON games do not impress me, but here lately, I've really loved some of their later games. So now I'm going back looking at older ones. And Way of the Panda, of course, it looks beautiful, and the pieces are gorgeous. Everyone has different molds. Everyone's pandas are different, which is something they didn't have to do, but they did anyway for the game. So they go all out on their games. But it's a really fun game. I haven't played this with everyone in my gaming group yet. I did play it after I reviewed it. I did play it with another group of people, and they loved it too. And I like that there's different ways people have won each time. The same strategy doesn't always work. Just as how action spots are being taken differently, you have to maneuver and kind of redirect how you want to score and how you want to, where you want to go. What's the best method? Building in your own area is really hard to do. It's really slow. You need to kind of help each other out. You build a little here, someone builds on top of that, then someone else builds on top of that. Because your three pandas, they can't build the same building. So what a lot of people like to do in our last game, they just kind of congregated together, all three pandas. But then I realized that really wasn't getting the maximum amount of points because you got to be all over that board. So I started moving all over the board and probably annoy the rest of the gamers, but I had a great time playing this game, and it just misses out on my top 100. But hey, all new games. Again, I rank very conservatively, so it takes a lot for you to get in my top 100 and be a new game. Even though that is possible. Several games did it this year. But this one, just outside, we'll see how it does in 2024. Another game I've had for a while now. Got it really early into my collection. Massina 1347. Didn't know anything about this game. I can't remember. Someone had it on sale for like $20. I was like, well, I can't pass it up. So I bought a copy to check it out. And yeah, it is up my wheelhouse here as you're trying to fight the plague by getting certain resources, building certain stick homes, building buildings. You got to activate those buildings. You got to make the board work for you, as they say, that player board. So you're trying to get all these actions. all these extra save these citizens, burn out the plague in different spots too. No one to date has gotten any plague rats because they're worth negative points in the game. But I'm almost positive it really slows down how we build things because we don't really get the engine going that much. I think it's designed that you're supposed to be able to take some infestation with you, and everyone's supposed to get a little bit infected, I guess, at the end to get a few minus points. But no one's done that yet. We've all been playing it safe. And all it's going to take is for that one person to go, you know what, screw it. I know I don't have any fire to burn out the rats there, but I don't care. I just want to get this. I've got to get my ball rolling. And I bet it's a small amount of points you lose, but we're just so worried about losing points that no one ever gets the rats. But I may change up my strategy next time we play this because I think this game has a lot to offer. A lot of people love this game for good reason, too. It does take a little while to learn. It's definitely not a gateway game or even a midway game, too. Pretty heavy game. But I have enjoyed it. I did play it after I reviewed it too. Still enjoy it. It is waiting on the outside of the top 100, waiting for one of those other games to screw up, and it's going to jump on in, I'm sure. All right, number 115 is the last Haba game I'll be talking about, but it's a good one. It's called Honga. This game is super cheap right now, so you can get it. It's super fun for adults or kids to play, or families, I should say, to play. You're playing these discs and taking the actions equal to the amount of paws on those disc areas. It's always smart to keep a paw on Honga because if you don't, he's going to come over, and every round he's going to start eating all your food, starting with your most expensive ones and moving down, which can really hurt you in the game, but not take away. I saw someone take Honga with him and just plow through the rest of the game, and eventually he did win. It was a risky strategy, and he had to do a lot of things to cover for it, but it worked. And as long as everyone else is feeding the Phantom Honga, he won't come to visit you. He only comes to visit someone if someone doesn't pet him with one of their little paw print tiles. Really, really fun game. Easy to understand, easy to play because it's Haba. But honestly, this one crosses every once in a while. I think Haba makes a great game that crosses the threshold and like anyone can play, like even adults. And this is definitely one. My adult gaming group plays this all the time, and we have a blast with it. So, and now that it's a good price, I can definitely recommend it to everyone. All right, number 114 is the first time it's ever been outside my top 100. I got a great story about it. Yui Rosenberg, the only Yui Rosenberg game in my collection now, Mercator. I love Mercator. I don't like Yui Rosenberg games. In fact, I had to get rid of At the Gates of Loyang because no one in my gaming group, everyone refused to play it with me. They did not want to play that one. I brought it out 3 times this year, and each time they're like, you know what, I'd rather not play that one. I was like, that's okay. Is this the one about the car? Yeah, I don't want to play that one. I was like, oh, okay. And so now I have no one to play it with. So I traded it. I traded At the Gates of Loyang. Mercator, I did play, but only once this year because someone looked and saw. I'm trying to hide the box, and because my gaming group really does not like Yui Rosenberg games. I don't either, but this is an exception to the rule. This is a fine game, but they really don't like Yui Rosenberg. So when they see his name, they automatically go, shh, and someone checked the dadgum box. And is this Yui Rosenberg game? I said, yes, but it doesn't feel like one, right? And they're like, I guess not. But I was like, oh no. And so I didn't bring it out again. I'm going to wait another year to see if they'll forget it's Yui Rosenberg. But I literally do hide the box because I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't like his games either, but I don't avoid playing them. I guess I'll try anyone's game once. I mean, I do maybe have an impression about it, but I don't try to avoid their games. But my gaming group, kind of played it and went, okay, that was fun. Now what's next? But I didn't bring it back out this year. So I only got played once. So it did fall from grace a little bit. I have no plans to get rid of this game, though, because I love it. I love that you're moving around the board, trying to fulfill contracts. I cannot help it. I always try to get the Peace of Westphalia. It has only happened in the tons of games we play. I've only done it like twice. It's really hard to do, but it is possible. And you got to go for the long game if that's what you're doing. And if someone finds out what you're doing, you're in trouble too. But the thing is, though, I try so hard to get that. And sometimes I get the victory, sometimes not. But either way, I always have fun. Even if you don't like Yui Rosenberg, you should at least check out Mercator. It's an excellent game. Another new game that entered my collection was In the Year of the Dragon. I got this, I believe, after Christmas. Because I remember around New Year's, we had a bunch of people over, if I recall. And we were having a party at my house. And I brought out In the Year of the Dragon. And I reviewed it very early. And then I forgot about it. And just recently, about a month ago or so, I played it again just to see where it should rank. And it's almost a top 100 game. I really do love it. This is a game that you feel like, because something bad is always happening every round, and you're always going to be losing people, or some of your houses may crumble. But that's just the name of the game. If you learn to accept that, I thought, wow, this game just keeps punching you in the face. No, it doesn't, because you do feel like you got a lot accomplished. And even though you're going to lose a few things, there's some people we found out, hey, I don't need a doctor anymore because the next sickness, plague won't come for another 8 months, or maybe both plagues have happened, and now doctors are they're not needed anymore. So yeah, I can kill someone. I'll have him die from the famine, or whatnot. So there is ways to mitigate those bad events. But either way, In the Gates of Loyang, you see this game go for sale every once in a while on Amazon. It is definitely worth picking up. It is one of Phil's better games. Like I said, I don't have every Phil game. I'm not a Phil fanatic. He's mainly hit or miss for me, about 50-50. But this is one of the games that's really solid, and you should give it your time. Oh, the next 2 games are also new. A brand new game. One of the last games I reviewed prior to doing this list is Nauticus. I've been looking for Nauticus for over a year now. It's only available in Germany. It's a little expensive to get. I did find a decent copy that I was able to trade for and bring in. And yeah, I love this little game. It's really, everyone keeps saying it's like Puerto Rico. I played Puerto Rico a long time ago, and I don't remember it. So I'm sure it plays like Puerto Rico in a way. But I love how you are doing all these little actions to build your ships, to get supplies on it, to get victory points at the end. And the game is really smart. I remember a couple of times we started playing it right before I did my review. When it clicked with us, we went, oh, this is why because I thought, why don't you build the biggest ship ever? You'll go bankrupt if you do that. And you'll probably only build one. You'll never build another one. In fact, that was the very first game. Me and one other guy built 2 big ships. Never did that again. Never did that again. It's not worth it. Even though it's a big victory points, it'll run you bankrupt and really hurt you in the other rounds. There's not that many rounds in the game either. But this game is super smart. I really enjoy it. I just wish it was available. Cosmos, man. Cosmos kills me. Some of their better games they won't promote or bring over to the US. And to me, a lot of the games that they try to promote all the time, I'm just not interested in. You'll see Cosmos. Cosmos has a couple of games in my top 100, but and this one almost it may have made it if it wasn't so new. I didn't have time to really give an honest ranking, so I said, well, we won't put it in the top 100. We'll just put it right outside. But it's a solid game, and I wouldn't be surprised to find this in the top 100 next year, or any of these games I'm talking about now, right? Finally, the last new game on the list I'm going to talk about today is by Virginio Gigli again. I have all his games, but not all of them are top 100 games. This one is First Rat. First Rat, let me just say this. First Rat is extremely fun. My entire gaming group loves First Rat, but just like my nephews always love to do, they love to show how a game can be broke. The game isn't broke, but it is quite obvious that you must, the first thing you do is you run through the track to get a bottle cap. You must have a bottle cap to win the game. If you not have bottle caps, you will not win the game. That is evidence. There's no other way to beat someone who goes for the bottle caps. And if someone takes their time and gets a second bottle cap, they have an advantage to win the game. Bottle caps give you in-game points, and you must have a bottle cap. You cannot win the game without one. And I hate that you have to do that first. I hate that you have to rush and get the bottle cap first before you start playing the game. Because the second bottle cap may help you, but by then everyone's starting gathering resources and they're cashing in on that one. It's not in game, but it's a certain piece of the spaceship that you get. The storyline's fantastic. The look of it's great. The gameplay's fun. I just hate that there's one thing that everyone must do first. I almost want to start the game off giving everyone a daggum bottle cap. So we just play the game as regular. The game as regular is brilliant. But again, if you don't get bottle caps in the game, you will. You are guaranteed not to win that game. And so that's a little unfortunate. If it wasn't for that, this would definitely be in the top 100. Now, maybe over time, as I play this more and more, I will get over that and let it into the top 100. But right now, that was that. Even though it's gotten multiple plays, that is the reason it did not quite make my top 100 because I don't like that you always have to get that bottle cap first before you can start working on your strategy. But anyway, folks, that's it for now. Come back and I'll show you the 10 games that just barely missed out on being in my top 100. See you then.